Dr. Gears, are you ready?
Is this on?
Yes.
We're good.
All right, we will begin with round one with speller number 3, Ian Andrewski.
Barley. Noun. The seed or grain of a cereal grass commonly used in the manufacture of malt beverages and also in breakfast foods and as feed for stock. Nancy usually adds barley to the soups she makes. Barley.
Barley. B-A-R-L-E-Y. Barley.
Opera. Noun. A drama in which music is the essential factor, comprising songs with orchestral accompaniment and orchestral preludes and interludes. Saturday night's opera had to be canceled because both the lead singer and her understudy were ill. Opera.
Opera. O-P-E-R-A. Opera.
This word has a homonym. Dairy. Noun. A room, building, or establishment where milk is kept and butter or cheese is made. The kindergartners got a treat of milk and cookies at the end of their tour of the dairy. Dairy.
Dairy. D-A-I-R-Y. Dairy.
Reckless. Adjective. Marked by a lack of caution, heedless, rash. Courtney's continued reckless play on the swing set led to a nasty fall. Reckless.
Reckless. R-E-C-K-L-E-S-S. Reckless.
This word has a homonym. Tutu. Noun. A very short projecting skirt worn by a ballet dancer. In the football team's parody of Swan Lake, the offensive guard wore a large white tutu. Tutu.
T-U-T-U. Tutu.
Stringy. Adjective. Resembling or suggestive of a small cord larger than a thread and smaller than a rope. The chef said that the best beef brisket consists of the most stringy fibers. Stringy.
Stringy. S-T-R-I-N-G-Y. Stringy.
Muddle. Noun. An untidy litter of heterogeneous things out of place or order. The floor of Martin's room was covered with a muddle of clothes, sports equipment, shoes, and CDs. Muddle.
Muddle. M-U-D-D-L-E. Muddle.
Womanly. Adjective. Possessed of the character or behavior befitting a grown female human being. Mona's womanly, capable and mature attitude belies her true age. Womanly.
Womanly. W-O-M-A-N-L-Y. Womanly.
Magazine. A noun. A periodical that usually contains a miscellaneous collection of articles, stories, poems, and pictures, and is directed at the general reading public. Wilma scanned a magazine while waiting in the lobby of the dentist's office. Magazine.
Magazine. M-A-G-A-Z-I-N-E. Magazine.
Broadleaf. Noun. A tree of Jamaica whose wood is used for boards, small pieces of lumber, shingles, and staves. The barrels were made from the wood of a broadleaf. Broadleaf.
Broadleaf. B-R-O-A-D-L-E-A-F. Broadleaf.
Massage. Noun. Manipulation of tissues for remedial or hygienic purposes, as by rubbing, kneading, or tapping with the hand or other instrument. Mike often goes to a therapist for a massage to relieve his back pain. Massage.
Massage. M-A-S-S-A-G-E. Massage.
Anvil. Noun. A heavy, usually steel-faced iron block on which metal is shaped, as by hammering or forging. The blacksmith shaped and flattened the horseshoe on his anvil.
Anvil. A-N-V-I-L-E. Anvil.
The correct spelling is A-N-V-I-L. Sable. Noun. A carnivorous mammal of northern Europe and parts of northern Asia that attains a length of about 18 inches exclusive of the tail and is one of the most valued of fur-bearing animals, especially for its very dark skin. At the pet show, Gabriella showed off her 10-month-old black sable. Sable.
Sable. S-A-B-L-E. Sable.
Topical. Adjective. Designed for or involving local application or action, as on the body. The label warns that the cream is designed for topical use only. Topical.
Topical. T-O-P-I-C-A-L. Topical.
Kith. Noun. Familiar friends, neighbors, fellow countrymen, or acquaintances. In their flight from oppression, many refugees had to abandon their kith and kin. Kith.
Kith. K-I-T-H. Kith.
Waywiser. Noun. An instrument, as an odometer or pedometer, for measuring the distance traversed by a walker, vehicle, or ship. The lawn service technician used a waywiser to measure the length and width of the yard. Waywiser.
Waywiser. W-A-Y-W-I-S-E-R. Waywiser.
Honcho. Noun. A boss or leader. The network Honcho decided it was time for a new anchor for the evening news program. Honcho.
Honcho. Honcho. H-O-N-C-H-O. Honcho.
Brackish. Adjective. Somewhat salty, less salty than seawater, but undrinkable. Because pure water was in short supply, brackish groundwater was desalted for domestic use. Brackish.
Brackish. B-R-A-C-K-I-S-H. Brackish.
Average, adjective, not out of the ordinary for members of the group under consideration. Joe is of average height, but appears tall because he is very thin. Average.
Average. A-V-E-R-A-G-E. Average.
Walrus. Noun. A very large, gregarious marine mammal of Arctic waters that is related to the seals and has long ivory tusks, a tough, wrinkled hide, stiff whiskers, and a thick layer of blubber. Kim was amazed at the size of the walrus at the zoo. Walrus.
Walrus. W-A-L-R-U-S. Walrus.
Sorry about that. Your word is scowl. This could be confused with a similar word. It is a noun. A large, flat-bottomed boat with broad, square ends that is used chiefly for transporting sand, gravel, or refuse. The broad, shallow hull of the scow allowed it to carry heavy loads across shallow waters. Scow.
I hear that word again.
Scow.
Scowl.
Let me say it again. Scow.
Scowl.
Yes.
I have the language of origin.
This word is from Dutch.
Scowl. S. K. A. W. Scout.
The correct pronunciation is S-C-O-W. Gospel. This word is, gospel. Noun. The teachings of Jesus and the apostles as a body or system, the Christian faith, revelation, or dispensation. Father Thomas preached the gospel in church every Sunday. Gospel.
Gospel. G-O-S-P-E-L. Gospel.
Bonanza. Noun. Something that yields an often unexpectedly large profit. The movie turned out to be a box office bonanza. Bonanza.
Bonanza. B-A-N-A-N-Z-A. Bonanza.
The correct spelling is B-O-N-A-N-Z-A. Mongoose. Noun. An agile, keen-sighted, grizzled, brown and black mammal of India that is about the size of a ferret and feeds on snakes and rodents. The mongoose is a bold, tenacious predator. Mongoose.
Mongoose. M-O-N-G-O-O-S-E. Mongoose.
Orchard. Noun. A plantation or enclosure containing fruit trees, nut-bearing trees, or sugar maples. The apple orchard is spectacular in the spring when the trees are in bloom. Orchard.
Orchard. O-R-C-H-A-R-D. Orchard.
Foist. Verb. To force another to accept, especially by stealth or deceit. Brent knew that Karen would foist another kitten upon him if he wasn't careful. Foist.
Foist. F-O-I-S-T. Foist.
Vanilla. Noun. A flavoring extract made by soaking ground vanilla pods in a mixture of water and grain alcohols. The chef specified that pure vanilla be used when making the cake. Vanilla.
Vanilla. May I repeat?
You may start over. You need to start over with this guy.
I know.
You may start over.
F-A-N-I-L-L-A.
Crimson. Noun. Any of several deep or vivid reds or purplish reds of rather indefinite range. As the sun slowly dropped from sight, stripes of purple, orange, crimson, and gold reached upward from the distant hills. Crimson.
Crimson. C-R-I-M-S-O-N. Crimson.
Netherlander. Noun. A native or inhabitant of the Netherlands. The yacht's crew included an Englishman, a German, and a Netherlander. Netherlander.
Netherlander. N-E-T-H-E-R-L-A-N-D-E-R. Netherlander.
Dogma. Noun. A doctrine or body of doctrines of theology and religion formally stated and authoritatively proclaimed by a church. The dogma of papal infallibility on spiritual matters marks one of the greatest differences between the Catholic and Protestant churches. Dogma.
Dogma. D-O-G-M-A. Dogma.
Zenith. Noun. The point of culmination, the greatest height. Winning the faculty award was the zenith of Stephanie's teaching career. Zenith.
Can you repeat it, please?
Zenith.
Zenith. Zenith.
The correct spelling is Zenith. Electoral, adjective, of or relating to the act or process of choosing a person for office, position, or membership by voting. The candidate spent $10 million on his electoral campaign for governor. Electoral.
Electoral. Electoral. Electoral.
Cosmetic, adjective, relating to or involving only outward appearance. Jillian bought a small house that needed only a few cosmetic repairs. Cosmetic.
Cosmetic. Cosmetic. Cosmetic.
This word has a homonym. Kona. Noun. A storm of southerly or southwesterly winds and heavy rains in Hawaii. Typical wave heights during a Kona are from 10 to 15 feet, with an interval of 8 to 10 seconds between each wave. Kona.
May I please have the language of origin?
This word is from a Hawaiian word.
Kona. C-O-N-A. Kona.
The correct spelling is K-O-N-A. Behest. Noun, a strong, often authoritative request. An investigation was begun at the behest of the U.S. House of Representatives. Behest.
Behest. B-E-H-E-S-T. Behest.
Condor. Noun, a very large American vulture having the head and neck bare and being one of the largest and most powerful of flying birds. Of all the birds at the zoo, the Andean condor is Allison's favorite.
Condor. C-O-N-D-O-R. Condor.
Aquatic. Adjective, living wholly or chiefly in or on water. Porpoises and seals are aquatic mammals. Aquatic.
Aquatic. A-Q-U-A-T-I-C. Aquatic.
Safari. Noun, a hunting or other expedition in East Africa, especially on foot. While on safari, Ariel photographed lions and elephants. Safari.
Safari. S-A-F-A-R-I.
Rucksack. Noun, a bag or case often of canvas supported on the back by a strap over each shoulder. Martina's rucksack was packed to its limit with paperback novels. Rucksack.
I hear the word again.
Rucksack.
Rucksack.
Can you say it again?
Say that.
Rucksack. R-U-C-K-S-A-C-K. Rucksack.
Dearth. Noun, deficiency or inadequate supply of something, as news, or of some quality, as courage. The general realized that his army was suffering from a dearth of self-confidence. Dearth.
D-I-R-T-H, dearth.
The correct spelling is D-E-A-R-T-H. Nosh, verb, to eat a snack. Becky and her sister usually nosh on fruit after school. Nosh.
May I hear the word again, please?
Nosh.
Nosh. N-A-U-S-H, nosh.
The correct spelling is N-O-S-H. Cockatoo. Noun. Any of numerous, large, noisy, chiefly Australasian parrots that are often kept as cage birds. Despite her neighbor's complaints, Rita often places her noisy cockatoo on the fire escape. Cockatoo.
Cockatoo. C-O-C-K-A-T-O-O. Cockatoo.
Aspen. Noun. Any of several poplars, the leaves of which flutter in the lightest wind. The skier lost control and crashed into an aspen. Aspen.
Aspen. A-S-P-E-N, aspen.
Geothermal. Adjective. Of or relating to the heat of the Earth's interior. Geothermal heat pumps use the Earth to provide heating, cooling, and hot water for buildings. Geothermal.
Geothermal. G-E-O-T-H-E-R-M-A-L. Geothermal.
Powwow. Noun. A North American Indian ceremony, as for the cure of disease, success in hunting, victory in war, often accompanied by great noise, feasting, and dancing. A Cherokee from Arkansas performed a ceremonial dance during the annual powwow, sponsored by the Native American Student Association. Powwow.
Powwow. P-A-W-W-O-W, powwow.
P-O-W-W-O-W. Grabble. A verb. To move the hand as in searching in a groping fashion. Many far-sighted people grapple for their glasses when they wake up. Grapple.
Gravel. G-R-A-B-B-L-E. Gravel.
Bambino. Noun. An extremely young child, especially one that still needs to be carried, an infant. Don't cry, my sweet Bambino, whispered Carlotta to the bundle in her arms. Bambino.
Bambino. B-A-M-B-I-N-O, bambino.
Foyer. Noun. An anteroom or lobby, especially of a theater, library, or other public buildings. Joanne admired the larger mobile hanging from the ceiling of the museum's foyer. Foyer.
Foyer. F-O-Y-E-R, foyer.
Crescent. Noun, the shape or figure defined by a convex and a concave edge. The moon's silvery crescent disappeared as the eclipse reached totality. Crescent.
Crescent. C-R-E-S-C-E-N-T. Crescent.
Grotto. Noun, a usually arched recess or hollow place marking a natural shelter and formed by or resembling the mouth of a cave. Bernadette reported having seen visions of the Virgin Mary at a grotto on the outskirts of Lourdes, France. Grotto.
Grotto. G-R-O-T-T-O.
Dracula. Noun, one who maintains a relationship like that of a vampire toward another by sapping his or her physical or emotional strength. Chris doesn't seem to realize that his boss, who emails him at all hours of the night, is a Dracula. Dracula.
Dracula. D-R-A-C-U-L-A. Dracula.
Caboose. Noun, a freight train car usually attached to the rear of a train mainly for the use of members of a train crew. A chef bought the old caboose and converted it into a very popular diner. Caboose.
Caboose. C-A-B-O-O-S-E. Caboose.
Belladonna. Noun, an old-world poisonous plant of the nightshade family having purple or green bell-shaped flowers, glossy black berries, and roots and leaves that yield atropine. Grandfather told Joey that the 5-foot-tall plant alongside the path was a belladonna and warned him not to touch it. Belladonna.
Belladonna. B-E-L-O-D-A-N-A.
The correct spelling is B-E-L-L-A-D-O-N-N-A. Embargo. A noun. An edict or order of the government prohibiting the departure or entry of ships of commerce at ports within its dominions. In defiance of the embargo, the captain eased his ship out of the harbor at night. Embargo.
Embargo. E-M-B-A-R-G-O. Embargo.
This word has a homonym. Hurdle. Noun. An artificial barrier over which humans or horses leap in a race. Gordon cleared the last hurdle with ease and won the race. Hurdle.
Hurdle. H-U-R-D-L-E. Hurdle.
Jovial. Adjective. Characterized by or showing marked good humor, especially as exhibiting in mirth, hilarity, or conviviality. The jovial chef made cooking look easy and enjoyable. Jovial.
Jovial. J-O-V-I-A-L. Jovial.
Coyote. Noun. A carnivorous mammal of North America that is closely related to, but smaller than the wolf, has a narrow pointed muzzle and triangular ears, hunts singly or in small groups, and is known for its various distinctive vocalizations, such as barks, yips, and howls. The lone male coyote kept to the edges of the pack for many days before being accepted into the group. Coyote.
Coyote. C-A-Y-O-T-E. Coyote.
The correct spelling is C-O-Y-O-T-E. Mahi. It's a noun. A colorful, iridescent saltwater fish that is widely distributed in tropical and temperate seas and is used for food. The server announced that today's special was mahi, marinated in a soy ginger sauce. Mahi.
Mahi. M-A-H-I-N-A-H-I. Mahi.
Cummerbund. A noun. A waistband worn in place of a vest with men's dress clothes. The bride wanted the groom's cummerbund to match the pale pink of her flowers. Cummerbund.
Cummerbund. C-U-M-M-E-R-B-U-N-D. Cummerbund.
Discipline. Noun. A subject that is taught, a branch of learning, a field of study. Natasha's chosen discipline is European history of the 17th century. Discipline.
Discipline. D-I-S-C-I-P-L-I-N-E. Discipline.
Sumo. Noun. A Japanese form of wrestling in which a contestant loses the match if he is forced out of the ring or if any part of his body except his feet touches the ground. As part of their study of Japanese culture, the class watched an hour of sumo on ESPN. Sumo.
Sumo. S-U-M-O. Sumo.
Falsetto. Noun. Artificially high voice. Dad draped a mop over his head and sang "Mary Had a Little Lamb" in falsetto. Falsetto.
Falsetto. F-A-L-S-E-T-O. Falsetto.
The correct spelling is F-A-L-S-E-T-T-O. Igneous. Adjective. Relating to, resulting from, or suggestive of the intrusion or extrusion of magma or the activity of volcanoes. Obsidian is one kind of igneous rock. Igneous.
Igneous. I-G-N-E-O-U-S. Igneous.
Diatribe. Noun. A bitter, abusive, and usually lengthy speech or piece of writing. After supper, Deirdre launched into her familiar diatribe against commercial television. Diatribe.
Diatribe. D-I-A-T-R-I-B-E. Diatribe.
Beige. Adjective. Of a variable color averaging light grayish, yellowish brown. Tired of the beige walls in her home, Ellen decided to repaint all the rooms with bold colors. Beige.
Beige. B-E-I-G-E. Beige.
Predicate. Noun. The part of a sentence or clause that expresses what is said of the subject and that usually consists of a verb with or without objects, complements, or adverbial modifiers. The class assignment was to underline the predicate in each of several sentences. Predicate.
Predicate. P-R-E-D-I-C-A-T-E. Predicate.
Henna. Noun. A reddish brown dye obtained from leaves from the henna plant. the ancient use of henna is confirmed by the presence of the dye used in Egyptian mummies. Henna.
Henna. Henna. Henna.
Olympian. Noun. A being of lofty detachment or superior attainments. Standing beside the Olympian was less conspicuous achiever who was glad for his modest honors. Olympian.
Olympian. Olympian. Olympian.
Saxophone. Noun. A wind instrument that combines the reed mouthpiece of a clarinet with a usually curved conical metal tube made in various sizes. Bart was constantly hiding Lisa's saxophone. Saxophone.
Saxophone. Saxophone. Saxophone.
This word can be confused with a similar word. Hector. Verb. To harass, intimidate, bully, or domineer over by bluster, scolding, or personal pressure. Some seniors hector the underclassmen on the first day of school. Hector.
Hector. Hector. Hector.
Islamic. Adjective. Of, relating to, or characterized by the religious faith of Muslims. The most central tenets of Islamic doctrine are that there is no God but Allah and that Muhammad is his prophet. Islamic.
Islamic. Islamic. Islamic.
Sierra. Noun. A mountainous region. Mountain goats constitute the largest animal population in the high Sierra. Sierra.
Sierra. Sierra. Sierra.
The correct spelling is Sierra. Green gauge. Noun. Any of several rather small, rounded, greenish or greenish-yellow cultivated plums of European origin grown chiefly for their superior dessert quality. For dessert, Charlene had sliced green gauge in syrup. Green gauge.
What is the language of origin?
This word consists of an originally English word plus an English name.
Green gauge. Green-gauge. Green gauge.
Dynamic. Adjective. Forceful, energetic. The soccer team praised their dynamic coach for his untiring efforts. Dynamic.
Dynamic. Dynamic. Dynamic.
This word has a homonym. Alligator. Noun. Either of two animals having a hard protective case comprising the genus alligator and having a broad head not tapering to the snout and being in general much more sluggish than the typical crocodiles. The tour guide moved the airboat closer to where he had spotted an alligator. Alligator.
Alligator. Alligator. Alligator.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Guitar. Noun. A flat-bodied stringed instrument with a long fretted neck and usually 6 strings played with a pick or plucked with the fingers. Brett's parents bought him an acoustic guitar for his 15th birthday. Guitar.
Guitar. G-U-I-T-A-R. Guitar.
Linden. Noun. A tall forest tree of eastern and central North America. The flowers of the linden are noted for their sweet fragrance. Linden.
Linden. L-I-N-D-E-N. Linden.
Herbivore. Noun. A plant-eating animal. Tony identified the grazing herbivore as an antelope. Herbivore.
Herbivore. H-E-R-B-I-V-O-R-E. Herbivore.
That concludes round 2. If we could just give all of our champions here a round of applause for doing it. And just also another reminder, at the end of round 4, we will be taking a brief break. Okay?
Gristle. Noun. Tough, cartilaginous, tendinous, or fibrous matter, especially in table meats. Pat complained to the cook that his steak had gristle attached. Gristle.
Language of origin, please.
This word is originally English.
Gristle. G-R-I-S-T-L-E.
This word has a homonym. Ramen. Quick cooking egg noodles usually served in a broth with bits of meat and vegetables. Bert had a bowl of handmade ramen in a spicy broth for lunch. Ramen.
Ramen. R-A-M-E-N. Ramen.
Expertise. Noun. Specialized skill or technical knowledge in a particular field. Jonathan's expertise in database management netted him an excellent job. Expertise.
Expertise. E-X-P-E-R-T-I-S-E. Expertise.
Agnostic. Noun. One who is not committed to believing in either the existence or the non-existence of God or a God. Raymond and Olive have been happily married for 10 years, even though she is an agnostic and he never misses Sunday morning mass. Agnostic.
Agnostic. E-G-N-A-U-S-T-I-C. Agnostic.
The correct spelling is A-G-N-O-S-T-I-C. Hustings. Plural noun. An election platform, a place or occasion for political public speaking. After the political conventions, the campaign heated up as each party's nominee took to the hustings with renewed zeal. Hustings.
Hustings. H-U-S-T-I-N-G-S. Hustings.
Irony. Noun. A pretense of ignorance and of willingness to learn from another assumed in order to make the other's false conceptions conspicuous by adroit questioning. It is not clear whether Socrates spoke with irony or genuinely believed that he knew nothing. Irony.
Irony. I-R-O-N-E-Y.
Correct spelling is I-R-O-N-Y. This word has a near homonym. Lucid. Adjective. Having, manifesting, or marked by full use of one's faculties, oriented, rational, sane. The speaker at the black tie dinner sounded lucid, even though he was wearing a rubber nose and rainbow wig. Lucid.
Lucid. L-U-C-I-D. Lucid.
Catkin. Noun. An elongated, often pendulous inflorescence bearing scaly bracts and numerous, typically petalless unisexual flowers. Pollen from the catkin, Grace picked from the willow bush, stained her fingers yellow. Catkin.
Catkin. C-A-T-K-I-N. Catkin.
Bequeath. Verb. To give by formal declaration so that the thing given passes into ownership of the recipient after the death of the donor. Fred indicated that he would bequeath his car to his oldest son. Bequeath.
Bequeath. B-E-Q-U-E-A-T-H. Bequeath.
Potash. Noun. Potassium carbonate, especially, that obtained in colored impure form by leaching wood ashes, evaporating the lye, usually in an iron container used for boiling or cooking, and heating the residue to a high temperature. In colonial days, potash was used to make soap. Potash.
Potash. P-O-T-A-S-H. Potash.
Animosity. Noun. Ill will or resentment tending toward hostile action, smoldering enmity. Jordan and her little brother have a close relationship with occasional brief periods of animosity.
Animosity. A-N-I-M-O-S-I-T-Y. Animosity.
Transect. Verb. To cut across or transversely. Several earthquake fault lines transect the region around San Francisco. Transect.
Transect. T-R-A-N-S-E-C-T. Transect.
Inferno. Noun. A large disastrous fire. A conflagration. Howling winds fanned a relatively small blaze into a fast-moving, unstoppable inferno. Inferno.
Inferno. I-N-F-E-R-N-O. Inferno.
Hosta. Noun. Any plant of a genus of Asiatic perennial herbs that have ribbed leaves often blotched or bordered with white and scapes of light blue or lilac flowers and that are widely cultivated as ornamentals. A hosta is a good choice for planting in a very shady spot. Hosta.
Hosta. H-O-S-T-A. Hosta.
This word has a homonym. Clapboard. Noun. A narrow board that is usually thicker at one edge than the other and is used for weatherboarding outside walls. Houses covered with clapboard require more exterior maintenance than do those faced with brick. Clapboard.
Clabbered. C-L-A-P-B-O-A-R-D. Clabbered.
Stoic. Adjective. Not affected by passion or feeling, especially. Manifesting indifference to pleasure or pain. Alan tried to remain stoic in the dentist's chair. Stoic.
Stoic. S-T-O-E-C-K. Stoic.
The correct spelling is S-T-O-I-C. Portfolio. Noun. A flat portable case for carrying papers or drawings. Mr. Barnstone set his portfolio behind the door as he entered the house. Portfolio.
Portfolio. P-O-R-T-F-O-L-I-O. Portfolio.
This word has a homonym. Hawthorn. Noun. A spring flowering shrub or tree having usually thorny branches, white or pink fragrant flowers, and small red fruits. Many small birds took up residence in the large hawthorn.
Hawthorn. H-A-W-T-H-O-R-N. Hawthorn.
Plateau. Noun. A usually extensive land area having a relatively level surface raised sharply above adjacent land on at least one side. The Columbia Lava Plateau is located in eastern Washington and Oregon. Plateau.
Plateau. P-L-A-T-U-A. Plateau.
The correct spelling is P-L-A-T-E-A-U. Shogun. Noun. A military governor of Japan before the mid-19th century revolution with power exceeding the emperor's. The shogun barred all Europeans from his domain. Shogun.
Shogun. S-H-O-G-U-N. Shogun.
Temporal. Adjective. Of or relating to time as opposed to eternity. Temporal matters concerned Mr. Getty much more than philosophical questions about an afterlife. Temporal.
Temporal. T-E-M-P-O-R-A-L. Temporal.
Sputnik. Noun. A man-made object or vehicle intended to orbit Earth, the Moon, or other celestial body and usually instrumented for the transmission of space data. An important use of the Sputnik is to give early warning of enemy missile launches. Sputnik.
Sputnik. S-P-U-T-N-I-C-K. Sputnik.
The correct spelling is S-P-U-T-N-I-K. Haiku. Noun. An unrhymed verse form of Japanese origin having 3 lines containing usually 5, 7, and 5 syllables, respectively, referring in some way to one of the seasons of the year. Compressing an image or idea into only 17 syllables is what makes a haiku most challenging to compose. Haiku.
Haiku. H-A-I-K-U. Haiku.
The correct spelling is H-A-I-K-U. This word could be confused with a similar word. Mutable. Adjective. Open to debate, debatable. The mutable issue was debated by lawyers and finally decided by a judge. Mutable.
Mutable. M-O-O-T-A-B-L-E. Mutable.
Frankenstein. Noun. A work or agency that proves troublesomely uncontrollable, especially to its creator, especially one that ultimately destroys or ruins its creator. The environmental activist stated that nuclear power had become a Frankenstein. Frankenstein.
Can you please say the definition again?
A work or agency that proves troublesomely uncontrollable, especially to its creator, especially one that ultimately destroys or ruins its creator.
Frankenstein.
F-R-A-N-K-E-N-S-T-E-I-N. Frankenstein.
Gondola. Noun. A long, narrow, flat-bottomed boat with a high prow and stern used on the canals of Venice. While Dan and Judy were visiting Venice, they took a romantic ride in a gondola.
May I please have the origin?
This word is from a word that went from Greek to Italian.
Gondola. G-A-U-N-D-A-L-A. Gondola.
The correct spelling is G-O-N-D-O-L-A. Hydrology. Noun. A science dealing with the properties, distribution, and circulation of water. Stormwater management is one of the topics dealt with in hydrology. Hydrology.
Can I have the language of origin?
Both parts of this word are originally Greek.
Hydrology. H-Y-D-R-A-O-L-O-G-Y. Hydrology.
The correct spelling is H-Y-D-R-O-L-O-G-Y. This word could be confused with a similar word. Pundit. Noun. An authority or one who announces judgments, opinions, or conclusions in an authoritative manner, a critic. The film Pundit gave the movie a thumbs down. Pundit. Say it for me.
Pundit.
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 Yes. Pundit. Right, pundit.
Pundit. May I have the word of the origin?
This word went from Sanskrit to Hindi before becoming English.
Pundit. P-U-N-D-I-T. Pundit.
Kahuna. Noun. A master of Hawaiian religious lore and ceremony. A kahuna is regarded as a guardian of healing secrets. Kahuna.
Kahuna. K-A-H-U-N-A. Kahuna.
Topography.
Topography.
Let me give the information. It's a noun. The art or practice of graphic delineation in detail, usually on maps or charts of selected natural and man-made features of a place or region, especially in a way to show their relative positions and elevations. Identifying the enemy's rocket sites will require an expert in topography.
Topography. Topography. Topography.
This word can be confused with a similar word. Jackal. Noun. Any of several small wild dogs of the old world, less daring than wolves, sometimes hunting in packs, but more usually singly or in pairs, and feeding on carrion and small animals. The zoologist explains that the popular image of a jackal as a cowardly scavenger is not justified by the facts. Jackal.
Language of origin, please.
This word is from a Sanskrit word that went to Persian and then Turkish.
Jackal. J-A-C-K-A-L. Jackal.
Obstinate. Adjective. Pertinaciously adhering to an opinion, purpose, or course, not yielding to reason, arguments, or other means. Franklin has missed at least 2 promotions because he is so obstinate about doing things his own way. Obstinate.
Obstinate. O-P-S-T-I-N-I-T. Obstinate.
The correct spelling is O-B-S-T-I-N-A-T-E. This word could be confused with a similar word. Rotunda. Noun. A round building, especially one that is round both outside and inside and is covered by a dome. The carousel is located on a large rotunda. Rotunda.
Rotunda. R-O-T-U-N-D-A. Rotunda.
Semantics. Plural noun. The study dealing with the relations between signs and what they refer to, the relations between the signs of a system and human behavior in reaction to signs. A student survey revealed that the topic of body language was the most interesting aspect of the course in semantics. Semantics.
Semantics. S-I-M-A-N-T-I-C-S. Semantics.
The correct spelling is S-E-M-A-N-T-I-C-S. Persimmon. It's a noun. A medium-sized tree of the southern and eastern United States with hard, fine-grained wood, oblong leaves, and bell-shaped flowers, followed by an orange, several-seeded berry that is edible when fully ripe, but usually extremely astringent when unripe. Hadley enjoyed making persimmon chutney to serve at Thanksgiving dinner rather than the traditional cranberry dressing. Persimmon.
Can I have the language of origin?
This word is of Algonquian origin.
Persimmon. P-E-R-S-I-M-A-N.
The correct spelling is P-E-R-S-I-M-M-O-N. Enthusiasm. Noun. Strong excitement of feeling on behalf of a cause or subject, ardent zeal or interest, fervor. Chuck was only a beginning bowler, but what he lacked in experience, he made up for in enthusiasm. Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm. ENTHUSIASM. Enthusiasm.
Nirvana. Noun. A place or state of rest, harmony, or pleasure. Fiona's idea of nirvana is a weekend at her lakeside cabin. Nirvana.
Nirvana. NIRVANA. Nirvana.
Pumpernickel. Noun. A sourdough bread made with rye and wheat flours. Sam's favorite sandwich is ham and Swiss on pumpernickel. Pumpernickel.
Pumpernickel. PUMPERNICKEL. Pumpernickel.
Analysis. Noun. A detailed examination of anything complex as a novel or an organization made in order to understand its nature or to determine its essential features. Janice's prize-winning analysis of the dynamics of the Tokyo Stock Exchange earned her a prestigious fellowship. Analysis.
Analysis. ANNALYSIS. Analysis.
The correct spelling is ANALYSIS. Bower. Noun. A sheltered or covered place in a garden made with boughs of trees or vines twined together, an arbor. The shade provided by the bower was much appreciated in the summer. Bower.
Power. BOWER. Bower.
Vendetta. Noun. A prolonged feud marked by bitter hostility. The official who was fired accused the mayor of having a vendetta against him. Vendetta.
Vendetta. VENDETTA. Vendetta.
Kremlin. Noun. The citadel or fortress of a Russian city or town. Bruce hiked to the ancient Kremlin for the best view of the city. Kremlin.
Kremlin. CREMLIN. Kremlin.
The correct spelling is KREMLIN. Syntax. Noun. Sentence structure. The speechwriter spent hours quibbling over syntax. Syntax.
Syntax. SYNTAX. Syntax.
Juggernaut. Noun. A massive, unyielding force or object that advances irresistibly and crushes whatever is in its path. Sherman's armies moved like a juggernaut through the South. Juggernaut.
Juggernaut. Can I repeat it? Or is it?
Start over, like you have to start with the same letter.
Juggernaut. GUGGERNAUT. Juggernaut.
The correct spelling is JUGGERNAUT. This word could be confused with a similar word. Autobahn. Noun, a German, Swiss, or Austrian expressway. Klaus pulled his Mercedes-Benz over to the side of the Autobahn to read the map. Autobahn.
Autobahn. Autobahn. Autobahn.
Sequin. Noun, a small ornament as a flat disc, star, or other shape, usually of a shiny metal or plastic pierced with a hole for sewing onto cloth and decorative signs. Kayla sewed a bead on top of each sequin to keep it in place. Sequin.
Sequin. Sequin. Sequin.
This word has a homonym. Palette. Noun, a particular range, quality, or use of color. Monet used a much darker palette at the beginning of his painting career than is used in his later years. Palette.
Palette. P-A-L-E-T-T-E. Palette.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Acme. Noun, the highest point or stage as of growth or development. The pop star's fans thinks she is at the acme of the music profession. Acme.
Acme. A-C-M-E. Acme.
Ominous. Adjective, indicative of future misfortune or calamity, causing anxiety and fear. For an instant, there was an ominous stillness, quieter and more silent than ever before, as if even the air was holding its breath. Ominous.
What is the language of origin?
Latin.
Ominous. O-M-I-N-O-U-S. Ominous.
Knish. Noun, a round or square of rich baking powder dough, folded over a savory meat or cheese filling and baked or fried. Saul searched his new neighborhood in vain for a restaurant that served a decent knish. Knish.
Knish. Okay, the language of origin.
This word went from Russian to Yiddish.
Knish. Okay. Knish. K-I-N-I-S-H. Knish.
The correct spelling is K-N-I-S-H. Implement. Noun, a tool or utensil forming part of the equipment for work. Dawson discovered a Paleolithic stone implement near the entrance to a cave. Implement.
Implement. I-M-P-L-E-M-E-N-T. Implement.
Suave. Adjective, smoothly affable or polite through, often without deep interest or sincerity. Jose has a suave way of treating his guests. Suave.
Suave. S-U-A-V-E. Suave.
Okay, we are starting round 5. This word has a near homonym. Dibs. Plural noun. A claim, a reservation, rights. Mason called dibs on the last piece of pizza. Dibs.
Repeat the word, please.
Dibs.
Dibs. Dibs. D-I-B-S. Dibs.
Stuffy. Adjective. Oppressive to the breathing. The air in the tunnel leading to the pyramid was stuffy. Stuffy.
Stuffy. S-T-U-F-F-Y. Stuffy.
Respell. Verb. To name the letters of again, anew, or in another way. The teacher said that students who respell misspelled words in their essays will not earn extra points but will gain her favor. Respell.
Respell. R-E-S-P-E-L-L. Respell.
Dicey. Adjective. Risky, unpredictable. Jennifer found the prospect of going bungee jumping a bit too dicey for her. Dicey.
Dicey. D-I-C-E-Y. Dicey.
Prankster. Noun. A somewhat malicious but not vicious trickster or practical joker. Phoebe, an avid prankster, changed the language on Alicia's phone to German. Prankster.
Prankster. P-R-A-N-K-S-T-E-R. Prankster.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Snuggled. Verb. Cuddled, nestled. Klaus snuggled up on the couch with a blanket, a book, and a cup of tea and watched the snow fall outside the window. Snuggled.
Snuggled. S-N-U-G-G-L-E-D. Snuggled.
This word has a near homonym. Roster. Noun. An itemized listing of a group or collection. Colby was excited to see his name on the basketball team's roster. Roster.
Roster. R-O-S-T-E-R. Roster.
This word has a near homonym. Bobbin. Noun. A cylinder or spindle with a hole through the center on which yarn or thread is wound in machinery for spinning, twisting, weaving, or sewing. Marie-Kate forgot to place the right color of thread on the bobbin before she started sewing. Bobbin.
Bobbin. B-O-B-B-E-N. Bobbin.
The correct spelling is B-O-B-B-I-N. Yuletide. Noun. The Christmas season. Deck the Halls is a traditional Yuletide carol. Yuletide.
Yuletide. Y-U-L-E-T-I-D-E. Yuletide.
History. Noun. A branch of knowledge that records and explains past events as steps in the sequence of human activities. In college, Tanvi decided she would specialize in American history. History.
History. H-I-S-T-O-R-Y. History.
Agent. Noun. One who is authorized to act for or in the place of another, such as a business representative. The actor answered the phone and heard her agent proclaim that she had just been offered the role of a lifetime. Agent.
Agent. A-G-E-N-T. Agent.
Sharpener. Noun, a device for giving a fine point to a pencil. Deborah accidentally broke the lead off in the sharpener. Sharpener.
Sharpener. S-H-A-R-P-N-E-R. Sharpener.
The correct spelling is S-H-A-R-P-E-N-E-R. Fury. Noun, violent anger, rage. As George's sadness changed to fury, he stalked about the room feeling as if he would explode. Fury.
Can you please repeat that?
Fury.
What is the language of origin?
This word is from Latin.
Fury. F-U-E-R-Y. Fury.
The correct spelling is F-U-R-Y. This word has a homonym. Marksman. Noun, a person skillful or practiced at hitting a mark or target. Years of hunting with a rifle have made Alvin a great marksman. Marksman.
Marksman. M-A-R-K-S-M-A-N. Marksman.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Bucksaw. Noun, a tool that has a thin, flat blade with a continuous series of teeth on the edge and that is set in a usually H-shaped frame that is used for cutting wood on a supporting rack or frame. Natalie finally found the bucksaw in the old barn, but it was so rusted she could not use it. Bucksaw.
Bucksaw. B-U-C-K-S-A-W. Bucksaw.
We are beginning round 6. Privacy. Noun, isolation, seclusion, or freedom from unauthorized oversight or observation. Whenever Erin wanted privacy to think, she took a long, solitary walk. Privacy.
Language of origin, please.
This word is from a word that went from Latin to English.
Privacy. P-R-I-V-A-C-Y. Privacy.
Warfare. Noun, activity undertaken by a political unit as a state or nation to weaken or destroy another. Avery claimed that her brother's habit of hovering his finger by her arm while declaring, "I'm not touching you," actually constituted psychological warfare.
Warfare. W-A-R-F-A-R-E. Warfare.
This word has a homonym. Camera. Noun, a device that consists of a light-proof chamber with an aperture fitted with a lens and a shutter through which the image of an object is projected onto a surface for recording. The camera on Lynette's new smartphone takes extremely high-resolution photographs. Camera.
Camera. C-A-M-E-R-A. Camera.
Hoaxer. Noun, a person who perpetrates an act intended to trick or dupe. Edgar Allan Poe was the hoaxer behind an 1844 news article about a man using a balloon to travel across the Atlantic Ocean in only 3 days. Hoaxer.
Hoaxer. H-O-A-X-E-R. Hoaxer.
Gracefully. Adverb. In a manner marked by comeliness or fitness in line, proportion, or especially movement. Fred Astaire danced gracefully up the wall and across the ceiling. Gracefully.
Gracefully. Gracefully. Gracefully.
Organic. Adjective. Relating to or involving the use of food produced with the use of feed or fertilizer of plant or animal origin without employment of chemically formulated fertilizers, growth stimulants, or pesticides. Fidela's health goals for the year include walking more and buying organic and local foods when she can. Organic.
Organic. O-R-G-A-N-I-C. Organic.
Debate. Verb. To contend in words, dispute. Trina and Delia debate endlessly about the best route to take to their clients' offices. Debate.
Debate. D-E-B-A-T-E. Debate.
Beachhead. Noun. An initial advanced position or foothold to be used as vantage ground for extending to new areas. The general discussed with the president his selection for Site A as the beachhead for the invasion. Beachhead.
Beachhead. B-E-A-C-H-E-A-D. Beachhead.
The correct spelling is B-E-A-C-H-H-E-A-D. This word could be confused with a similar word. Loyal. Adjective. Faithful and devoted to a private person. After a very difficult year, Amir was grateful to have learned who his most loyal friends were. Loyal.
Loyal. L-O-Y-A-L. Loyal.
Register. Noun. A book or system of public records. Bobby searched in the register of patents to see if anyone else had thought of his invention. Register.
Can you repeat the word?
Register.
R-E-G-I-S-T-E-R. Register.
Stovepipe. Noun. A very tall silk hat. In honor of Lincoln's birthday, David, wearing a frock coat, stovepipe, and false beard, recited the Gettysburg Address for the class. Stovepipe.
Stovepipe. S-T-O-V-E-P-I-P-E. Stovepipe.
Endearing. Adjective. Arousing affection, tenderness, or admiration. While others found Derek's behavioral quirks annoying, his mother found them to be endearing.
Endearing. E-N-D-E-A-R-I-N-G. Endearing.
We'll begin round 7. This word could be confused with a similar word. Among. Preposition. Surrounded by, in the midst of, intermingled with. Raya's bright red umbrella stood out among the sea of black umbrellas moving down the crowded street. Among.
Among. A-M-O-N-G. Among.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Brabble. Verb. To talk noisily or confusingly, squabble. Even after the peace treaty, the two nations would brabble for another 2 decades about drilling rights on the island. Brabble.
Could you please repeat the word?
Brabble.
Brabble. B-R-A-B-B-L-E. Brabble.
Seasonal. Adjective. Of, relating to, or occurring at a particular period of the year. Dora always looked forward to the seasonal blueberry harvest. Seasonal.
Seasonal. S-E-A-S-O-N-A-L. Seasonal.
Instinct. Noun. A natural or inherent aptitude, tendency, impulse, or capacity. Jody has an instinct for math, but she has to study a little harder in her other subjects. Instinct.
Instinct. I-N-S-T-I-N-C-T.
Entrant. One that joins a competition. Everyone on the competition reality show was shocked by the surprise addition of one more entrant. It is a noun. I didn't say that. Entrant.
Entrant. E-N-T-R-A-N-T. Entrant.
Vegan. Noun. A strict vegetarian who consumes no animal food or dairy products. Erica would love to be a vegan, but hates the thought of giving up honey. Vegan.
Vegan. V-E-G-A-N. Vegan.
Confound. Verb. To throw a person into confusion, stupefy, perplex, confuse. Ms. Gould's attempts to clarify her instruction seem to only further confound her students. Confound.
May I have the language of origin, please?
This word went from Latin to French to English.
Confound. C-O-N-F-O-U-N-D. Confound.
Stumbled. Verb. Made a slip in speaking, mispronounced, stammered. Jerry stumbled on an especially long word while reciting a poem in front of his class. Stumbled.
Stumbled. S-T-U-M-B-L-E-D. Stumbled.
Snooty. Adjective. Haughtily or arrogantly contemptuous, snobbish. Harry disliked Snooty and Marge, but didn't intend to sabotage her visit. Snooty.
Snooty. S-N-O-O-T-Y. Snooty.
Logical. Adjective. That is in accordance with inferences reasonably drawn from preceding or surrounding or predictable facts or events or circumstances. Eva looked from the grade on her midterm to the displeased face of her teacher and reached the logical conclusion that she was going to be doing a lot more studying. Logical.
Logical. L-O-G-I-C-A-L. Logical.
Inclusion. Noun. The act of taking in as part of a larger group, class, or principal. The inclusion of a written essay dismayed students who were hoping the test would be entirely multiple choice. Inclusion.
Inclusion. I-N-C-L-U-S-I-O-N. Inclusion.
Okay, we will start round 8. Actresses, plural noun. Women who are theatrical performers. Delilah and Simone hope to be famous stage actresses when they grow up. Actresses.
Language of origin, please.
This word consists of a part that came from Latin, derived French, plus an English combining form.
Actresses. A-C-T-R-E-S-S-E-S. Actresses.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Casement. A noun. A window sash that opens on hinges fastened to the upright side of the frame. The imprisoned princess chipped away at the mortar surrounding the iron bars set in the casement. Casement.
Casement. C-A-S-E-M-E-N-T. Casement.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Medicate. Verb. To treat with a substance or preparation used in treating disease. Doctors must take additional precautions when they medicate women who are pregnant. Medicate.
Medicate. M-E-D-I-C-A-T-E. Medicate.
This word has a near homonym. Cursor. Noun. A usually transparent movable object with crosshairs used to mark position on a tablet for entry of graphic data into a computer. Hannah wiggled her mouse, trying to spot her cursor on any of her 5 monitors. Cursor.
Cursor. C-U-R-S-O-R. Cursor.
Elope. Verb. To go away secretly with the intention of marrying or establishing a more or less permanent relation of cohabitation. Instead of the hassle of a big wedding, Destiny and Dane opted to elope under a remote waterfall in the Amazon. Elope.
Elope. E-L-O-P-E. Elope.
Multiply. Verb. To increase in number, especially greatly. Add quantity to. The marketing director is proposing 3 ideas that she believes will multiply sales in the next quarter. Multiply.
Multiply. M-U-L-T-I-P-L-Y. Multiply.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Scammed. Verb. Obtained as money by a fraudulent or deceptive act or operation. Mr. Dobson filed a police report after he was scammed out of his savings by a con artist. Scammed.
May I have the language of origin, please?
Unknown origin.
Scammed. S-C-A-M-M-E-D. Scammed.
Criminal. Noun. A person who has been convicted of one or more offenses against public law as a misdemeanor, felony, or act of treason. The criminal dug a tunnel in an attempt to escape prison. Criminal.
Criminal. C-R-I-M-I-N-A-L. Criminal.
This word has a near homonym. Dawdle. Verb. To spend more time than is necessary or usual in doing something. Loiter. Because she doesn't enjoy doing homework, Daisy will often dawdle over her after-school snack. Dawdle.
Dawdle. D-A-W-D-L-E. Dawdle.
Studious. Adjective. Of, relating to, or concerned with the application of the mental faculties to the acquisition of knowledge. Pablo is the most studious pupil in Mr. Ramsey's class. Studious.
Studious. S-T-U-D-I-O-U-S. Studious.
Contraction. Noun. A shortening of a word, syllable, or word group by omission. Can't is the colloquial contraction for cannot. Contraction.
Contraction. C-O-N-T-R-A-C-T-I-O-N. Contraction.
We just need a second. We will start round 9 in just a minute. This word could be confused with a similar word. Nitrate. Noun. A salt or ester of nitric acid. Nitrate salts are found naturally on Earth as large deposits. Nitrate.
Language of origin, please.
The word is originally French.
Nitrate. N-I-T-R-A-T-E. Nitrate.
Follies. Noun. A stage review. The Ziegfeld Follies was a theatrical song and dance review that played on Broadway from 1907 through 1931. Follies.
Follies. F-O-L-L-I-E-S. Follies.
Decimal. Adjective. Based on the number 10. Marty aced the math test on decimal fractions. Decimal.
Decimal. D-E-C-I-M-A-L. Decimal.
This word has a near homonym. Exertion. Noun. Effort, especially a laborious or perceptible effort. Miguel was sweating from the exertion of carrying all of the groceries in at once. Exertion.
Exertion. E-X-E-R-T-I-O-N. Exertion.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Beseech. Verb. To address oneself earnestly to. Aided by the most dejected expression she can muster, Margaret will beseech her father to lend her the car keys. Beseech.
Beseech. B-E-S-E-E-C-H. Beseech.
Strengthen. Verb. To give added physical force or vigor to. Chewing coarse foods will strengthen the jaws. Strengthen.
Strengthen. S-T-R-E-N-G-T-H-E-N. Strengthen.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Trowel. Noun. Any of various hand tools with a blade used to apply, spread, shape, and smooth loose material. Joy removed the extra mortar between the bricks with a trowel. Trowel.
Trowel. T-R-O-W-E-L. Trowel.
Substitution. Noun. The exchanging of one person or thing for another. The substitution of the team's forward for a defender did little to help with the final score of the game. Substitution.
Substitution. S-U-B-S-T-I-T-U-T-I-O-N. Substitution.
Episode. Noun. The part of a radio, television, or motion picture serial presented at one performance. The ending of each episode of the soap opera left people eager to see the next episode. Episode.
Episode. E-P-I-S-O-D-E. Episode.
Misnomer. Noun. An incorrect designation or term. The name Greenland is a misnomer because an ice cap covers most of the island. Misnomer.
Misnomer. M-I-S-N-O-M-E-R. Misnomer.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Impossible. Adjective. Incapable of being or occurring. Jake thought it was impossible to earn a perfect score on his math test until he got his test back. Impossible.
Impossible. I-M-P-O-S-S-I-B-L-E. Impossible.
We'll begin round 10. Betwixt. Preposition. Between. The fly landed right betwixt Peter's eyes. Betwixt.
Language of origin, please.
Originally English.
Betwixt. B-E-T-W-I-X-T. Betwixt.
Publicist. Noun. An agent employed by an individual, organization, or group to establish and maintain good public relations. The author of the Tell-All book once worked as a publicist for several rock stars. Publicist.
Publicist.
Publicist. Publicist.
Entire. Adjective. With no element or part accepted, whole, complete. No sooner had Jaden removed the beautiful pie from the oven that he dropped the entire thing on the kitchen floor. Entire.
Entire. E-N-T-I-R-E. Entire.
Purplish. Adjective. Being somewhat of a hue that falls about midway between red and blue. Haley's purplish tongue was a sign that she had been chewing her favorite bubblegum between classes. Purplish.
Purplish. P-U-R-P-L-I-S-H. Purplish.
This word has a homonym. Ringing. Verb. Compressing by squeezing or twisting, especially so as to make dry or to extract moisture or liquid. Coming in from the downpour, Sydney immediately began wringing out her hair. Ringing.
Ring. W-R-I-N-G-I-N-G. Ringing.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Habitation. Noun. A dwelling place, house, home, residence. Maria's leather-bound notebook was her preferred habitation for her short stories. Habitation.
Habitation. H-A-B-I-T-A-T-I-O-N. Habitation.
Paragram. Noun. A pun made by changing the letters of a word, especially the initial letter. Krista told a joke with the paragram as the punchline. Paragram.
Paragram. P-A-R-A-G-R-A-M. Paragram.
Okay, your word has more than one correct spelling, which will be accepted. Glamour. Noun. An elusive, mysteriously exciting, and often illusory attractiveness that stirs the imagination and appeals to a taste for the unconventional, the unexpected, the colorful, or the exotic. The glamour of an ocean cruise quickly disappeared for Teddy when he became horribly seasick. Glamour.
Glamour. G-L-A-M-O-R. Glamour.
Planetary. Adjective. Global, worldwide. Deforestation is a planetary concern. Planetary.
Planetary. P-L-A-N-E-T-A-R-Y. Planetary.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Constitution. Noun. The whole physical makeup of the individual comprising the inherited qualities as modified by the environment. Physique. Dravon's strong constitution means he rarely gets the colds his classmates always seem to pass around. Constitution.
Constitution. C-O-N-S-T-I-T-U-T-I-O-N. Constitution.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Critique. Noun. An examination of a thing or situation as a work of art or literature with a view to determining its nature and limitations or its conformity to standards. The director pretended not to be bothered by the famous reviewer's scathing critique of his new film. Critique.
Critique. CRITIQUE. Critique.
We are starting round 11. Educate. Verb. To train by formal instruction and supervised practice, especially in a trade, skill, or profession. Jess feels she needs to educate herself more before joining the workforce. Educate.
Language of origin, please.
Latin.
Educate. EDUCATE. Educate.
Sentiment. Noun. An attitude, thought, or judgment permeated or prompted by feeling. There was a growing sentiment for the extracurricular activities in schools. Sentiment.
Sentiment. SENTIMENT. Sentiment.
Intelligent. Adjective. Not stupid or foolish. Claiming she was too tired to hold an intelligent conversation, Mona left the room and went to bed. Intelligent.
Intelligent. INTELLIGENT. Intelligent.
Betrothed. Verb. Promised in marriage. By the end of a year of kindergarten, Emma had already been betrothed to no fewer than 7 of her classmates. Betrothed.
Betrothed. BETROTHED. Betrothed.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Resin. Noun. Any of a large class of synthetic products that have some of the properties of natural plant secretions and that are used chiefly as plastics in varnishes and other coatings and in adhesives. The hardware store owner told Grace to use a resin to seal her deck, otherwise it would rot within 3 years. Resin.
Resin. RESIN. Resin.
Proximal. Adjective. Next to or near the point of attachment or origin, a point conceived of as central or the point of view. The knee is proximal to the ankle. Proximal.
Proximal. PROXIMAL. Proximal.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Restraint. Noun. An act of hindering, checking, or holding back from some activity or expression. Diego showed a lot of restraint in letting his sisters go down the water slide first. Restraint.
Restraint. RESTRAINT. Restraint.
Parboil. Verb. To cook briefly in liquid bubbling from heat as a preliminary or incomplete cooking procedure. The best cooks parboil dense vegetables such as carrots before stir-frying them with other vegetables. Let me repeat the word a couple times. It's parboil.
Parboil. P-A-R-B-O-I-L. Parboil.
Ruination. Noun. The act of damaging or destroying irredeemably. 4 successful hurricanes caused widespread ruination of the state's crops. Ruination.
Ruination. R-U-I-N-A-T-I-O-N. Ruination.
Antelope. Noun. Any of various old world ruminant mammals that differ from oxen by a leaner and more long-bodied build, horns directed upward and backward, and great variability in size. The bounding antelope managed to outdistance the pursuing lion. Antelope.
Antelope. A-N-T-E-L-O-P-E. Antelope.
Symposium. Noun. A meeting at which several speakers deliver short addresses on related topics or on various aspects of the same topic. As a graphic design student, Quincy was sure he would learn a lot from the International Symposium on Computer Animation. Symposium.
Symposium. S-I-M-P-O-S-I-U-M. Symposium.
The correct spelling is S-Y-M-P-O-S-I-U-M. Round 12.
Yes.
We are beginning round 12. Intolerable. Adjective. Not capable of being endured. Unbearable. Andrea complained that the movie was so bad it was almost intolerable.
Intolerable. I-N-T O L E R A B L E. Intolerable.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Measles, plural noun, an acute contagious viral disease characterized by red spots. Most people cannot get measles more than once in their life, but in rare cases, it can happen. Measles.
Measles. M-E-A-S-L-E-S. Measles.
Municipal. Adjective. Of or relating to a primarily urban political unit as a town or city, having corporate status and usually powers of self-government. Property taxes in most U.S. states are set by municipal governments. Municipal.
Municipal. M-U-N-I-C-A-B-L-E. Municipal.
The correct spelling is M-U-N-I-C-I-P-A-L. Desirable. Adjective. Of such properties or qualities as to be wished for or sought. The tornado flattened 20 homes in one of the city's most desirable subdivisions. Desirable.
Desirable. Desirable. Desirable.
The correct spelling is Desirable. Plasticity. Noun, capacity for being molded or altered. A particular clay's plasticity is based on its particle size and water content. Plasticity.
Plasticity. Plasticity. Plasticity.
Groggily. Adverb. In a manner weak, sleepy, exhausted, ill, or otherwise physically affected in such a way as to be sluggish in one's reactions, torpid mentally, and usually unsteady on the feet. Antonio groped groggily for his ringing alarm clock. Groggily.
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 Groggily. Groggally. Groggily.
Correct spelling is Groggily. Mangrove. Noun. A tropical maritime tree or shrub bearing fruit that germinates while still on the tree and having numerous prop roots that ultimately form an impenetrable mass and play an important role in land building. Because of its sensitivity to cold temperatures, in the U.S., the mangrove is only found in parts of Florida, southern Louisiana, and Texas. Mangrove.
Mangrove. Mangrove. Mangrove.
I'm sorry. Go ahead and sit back. Sit back. Go ahead. Yes, you can sit down. It's going to be a minute. There's an appeal, so just take a seat. There's an appeal. There's an appeal court that someone went out on. So just hold on. They're going to listen to the recording. And then we'll go take it again after the Okay. You don't do anything at this point. Jane, explain. Jane, explain everything to the audience if needed. Okay, great. Okay. Yes, thank you.
Acrobatic. Adjective. Performed with body contortions, back bends, high kicks, somersaults, or tossing of one dancer by a partner. Yasuko and Hiromi easily won the dance contest with their acrobatic version of the tango. Acrobatic.
Acrobatic. acrobatic. Acrobatic.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Incumbency. Noun. The sphere of action or period of office of the holder of an office or position. The presidential incumbency of Franklin Delano Roosevelt was more than 12 years. Incumbency.
Can you repeat the word, please?
Incumbency.
INCUMBANCY, incumbency?
The correct spelling is INCUMBENCY. Queendom. Noun. The state or territory ruled by a female monarch. Upon her coronation, Ingrid vowed to rule the queendom justly. Queendom.
Queendom. QUEENDOM, queendom.
Round 13. Credo. Noun. A strongly held or frequently affirmed belief or conviction, especially a generality or system adopted as a guide to action or achievement. Lyle's personal credo is to help others before he helps himself. Credo.
Language wording, please.
The word came to English from Latin.
Credo. CREEDO. Credo.
CREDO. Innumerable. Adjective. Too many to be numbered or counted. Katie's seemingly innumerable chickenpox blisters slowly faded away. Innumerable.
Innumerable. INNUMERABLE. Innumerable.
Ideologist. Noun. A specialist in the science of ideas. Kevin fancied himself an ideologist, but his mom didn't think that brainstorming jingles for cat litter qualified him as such. Ideologist.
Ideologist. IDEOLOGIST. Ideologist.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Drudgery. Noun. Dull, fatiguing, and unrevealed work or expenditure of effort. Celia welcomes any new invention that helps take some of the drudgery out of housework. Drudgery.
Drudgery. DRE.
Okay, we want you to pronounce it again, please.
Drudgery.
Say it again.
Drudgery.
Would you pronounce the word, please?
Drudgery.
Treachery.
No.
Drudgery.
Drudgery.
Are you hearing treachery?
I'm hearing drudgery.
Can you pronounce it again? You guys
Drudgery.
You,
we need to know the next word because I think misheard what the word was.
Okay.
Yeah. going to go to the next word for you. You misheard it. So you missed
Okay,
it.
thank you.
Succeeded. Verb, accomplished what is attempted or intended. Few climbers have succeeded in scaling Mount Everest. Succeeded.
Succeeded. S-U-C-C-E-E-D-E-D. Succeeded.
Conniption. Noun, a fit of rage, hysteria, or alarm. Dad had a conniption when he discovered that someone had stolen the radio from his car. Conniption.
Conniption. C-O-N-I-P-I-T-I-O-N. Conniption.
The correct spelling is C-O-N-N-I-P-T-I-O-N.
From now on, please stay on the stage. If you misspell your words, don't sing.
We're on round 14. Round 14.
When she's done with this one.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Treble. Adjective. Threefold. Whatever might be their motive or motives, whether single, double, or treble, their actions were unjustified. Treble.
Treble. T-R-E-B-L-E. Treble.
Now 14.
Round 14, and even if you spell out, we would like you to stay on the stage. Deceitful. Adjective. Dishonest. The Better Business Bureau warned Jasper of the awning company's deceitful business practices. Deceitful.
Deceitful. D-E-C-E-I-T-F-U-L. Deceitful.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Folate. Noun, a yellow or yellowish-orange crystalline vitamin of the vitamin B complex that is required for normal production of red blood cells and occurs chiefly in green leafy vegetables. Folate is crucial during an early pregnancy and is an essential component of prenatal vitamins. Folate.
Folate. F-O-L-A-T-E. Folate.
Accusatory. Adjective. Containing or expressing a charge of wrongdoing, delinquency, or fault. Malcolm knew he was in trouble as soon as he heard his mother's accusatory tone. Accusatory.
Accusatory. A-C-C-U. S-A-T-O-R-Y. Accusatory.
Parachute. Noun. A folding umbrella-shaped device usually made of light fabric and used especially for making a safe descent from an airplane, dropping equipment or supplies from an airplane, or slowing down an airplane upon landing. Nick learned how to fold and pack a parachute before making his first jump. Parachute.
Parachute. P-A-R-A-C-H-U-T-E. Parachute.
Just have them sit like so that they're together, kind of more in front of me.
You guys all sit here in the center.
Round 15. Vastitude. Noun. Immensity. The vastitude of the homework assignment temporarily overwhelmed Jeanette. Vastitude.
Vastitude. V-A-S-T-I-T-U-D-E. Vastitude.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Acculturation. Noun. Cultural modification of an individual, group, or people by adapting to or borrowing traits from another group's customary beliefs or social forms. The Spanish conquest of Mexico was followed by a period of acculturation. Acculturation.
Acculturation. A-C-C-U-L-T-U-R-A-T-I-O-N. Acculturation.
This word has a near homonym. Dobster. Noun. A bungler in painting. Cassidy is content with being a weekend dobster. Dobster.
May I hear the definition again?
A bungler in painting.
Dobster. D-O-B-S-T-E-R. Dobster.
The correct spelling, D-A-U-B-S-T-E-R. Transposable. Adjective. Capable of being interchanged. In the early 1950s, geneticists discovered that transposable genes may change their position on the chromosome. Transposable.
Transposable. T-R-A-N-S-P-O-S-A-B-L-E. Transposable.
Round 16. Congeniality. Noun. Affinity of spirit or temperament, mutual agreeableness. Captain Schreiner fostered a spirit of congeniality between the officers and the enlisted men. Congeniality.
Congeniality. C-O-N-G-E-N-I-A-L-I-T-Y. Congeniality.
This word has a homonym. Corps. Noun. An organized subdivision of the military establishment. When she graduated high school, Diana joined the Marine Corps. Corps.
Corps. C-O-R-P-S. Corps.
Avaricious. Adjective. Inordinately desirous of accumulating wealth, often merely in order to hoard it. Previously avaricious, Ben now lives by the motto, you can't take it with you. Avaricious.
Avaricious. A-V-A-R-I-C-I-O-U-S. Avaricious.
Round 17. Geniture. Noun. Nativity, birth. The geniture of the prince was an event of national importance. Geniture.
Geniture. Geniture. Geniture.
Logarithm. Noun. The exponent that indicates the power to which a number must be raised to produce a given number. When the math teacher said that 4 is the logarithm of 16 to the base 2, half the class actually understood what she was saying. Logarithm.
Logarithm. L-O-G-O-R-I-T-H-M. Logarithm.
The correct spelling is L-O-G-A-R-I-T-H-M. Okay, this word has a near homonym. Bonsai. Noun. A potted plant, such as a tree, dwarfed by special methods of culture. Malachi learned the art of training a bonsai from his grandfather. Bonsai.
Bonsai. B-O-N-S-A-I. Bonsai.
Okay, we're on round 18. Okay. Do we want to explain how that these come in?
That's what I was doing.
Okay, so we're just, each speller has to spell a word correct, obviously, to get to the next round. If one speller spells a word incorrect in this round, they just, you still may be able to come back in. So the speller, if you spell a word wrong and Maya spells the word right,
Okay.
then she needs to spell another word right to win.
Okay.
If not, then both students would be back in.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, this word has a near homonym.
Okay.
It's varicose. Adjective. Abnormally swollen or dilated. Extreme cases of varicose veins can require surgical treatment. Varicose.
Varicose. V-E-R-I-C-O-S-E. Varicose.
The correct spelling is V-A-R-I-C-O-S-E. This word has a homonym. The word is lupus. Noun, a chronic inflammatory autoimmune disease of connective tissue that occurs chiefly in women and is typically characterized by fever, skin rash, fatigue, and joint pain. People with lupus suffer periods of illness called flares, followed by periods of remission that are characterized by fewer symptoms. Lupus.
Lupus. L.
No, say it again.
Lupus. Lupus. L-U-P-I-S. Lupus.
Correct spelling is, L-U-P-U-S. Both are back in. Next round.
19.
Round 19. Dowager. Noun, an elderly woman of imposing appearance or dominant personality, often one of the elder women of assured position who tend to set the tone of an assembly, social group, or community. At Downtown Abbey, the Dowager Countess usually gets the last scone and the last laugh. Dowager.
Could you please repeat the word?
Dowager.
And could I please have the language of origin?
French.
Dowager. D-O-A-T-U-R-E. Dowager.
The correct spelling is D-O-W-A-G-E-R. This word could be confused with a similar word. Nubilous. Adjective, cloudy, foggy, misty. Renata stared up the nubilous sky and longed for a little bit of sun. Nubilous.
Nubilous. N-U-B-O-L-O-U-S, nubilous.
The correct spelling is N-U-B-I-L-O-U-S. Round 20.
Oh, wait, 20. Yes, yes, yes.
Parsec. Noun, a unit of measure for interstellar space equal to 3.26 light years or to 19.2 trillion miles. The parsec is a unit of length used to measure the distance to galaxies far, far away. Parsec.
Parsec? P-A-R-S-E-C, parsec.
Lurid. Adjective, wan and ghastly pale in appearance. Jessie was frightened by the lurid figures at Madame Tussauds Wax Museum, especially that of Jack the Ripper. Lurid.
Lurid. L-U-R-I-D, lurid.
Round 21. Nepotism. Noun, favoritism shown to nephews and other relatives as by giving them positions because of their relationship rather than on their merits. Most employees resent nepotism because it reduces the opportunity for advancement via hard work. Nepotism.
Nepotism, N-E-P-A-T-I-S-M, nepotism.
The correct spelling is N-E-P-O-T-I-S-M. Malversation. Noun, misbehavior, corruption, extortion, disloyalty, embezzlement, misappropriation or breach of trust in an office of public trust, an agency or a commission, broadly, corrupt administration. The gubernatorial candidate claims that malversation has become rampant in the present administration. Malversation.
Malversation. M-A-L-V-E-R-S-A-T-I-O-N, malversation.
That is correct. You would spell one more word correct, you could win. Histoplasmosis. Noun, a disease that is caused by infection with a fungus and is marked by benign involvement of lymph nodes, usually without symptoms, or by severe involvement of the lymph nodes with fever, anemia, and leukopenia. In the majority of individuals with normal immune response, histoplasmosis resolves without any treatment. Histoplasmosis.
Histoplasmosis. H-I-S-T-A-P-L-A-S-M-O-S-I-S, histoplasmosis.
The correct spelling is H-I-S-T-O-P-L-A-S-M-O-S-I-S. You got it, Heidi's second. Okay. Round 22. 23. Injurious. Adjective, inflicting or tending to inflict damage, hurtful, harmful, detrimental. Dakota refused to go skydiving, saying that the landing might be injurious to her health. Injurious.
Injurious. INJURIOUS. Injurious.
This word could be confused with a similar word. Ovoid. Adjective, shaped like an egg. Tippy's mother received an antique ovoid vase for her birthday. Ovoid.
Ovoid. O-V-O-I-D. Ovoid.
Round 24. Okay, this word has 2 or more correct spellings.
Okay.
They will be accepted. Incarnadine. Verb, to dye flesh-colored pink, red, or crimson. Malia decided to incarnadine some white fabric so that she would achieve the perfect color for the cloak of her Little Red Riding Hood costume. Incarnadine.
Incarnadine. INCARNADINE. Incarnadine.
The correct spelling, INCARNADINE. This word could be confused with a similar word. Affreight. Verb, to hire or charter a ship for the transportation of goods or cargo. To save on transportation costs, Nestor will affreight a boat to take his furniture to Hawaii instead of sending it by air. Affreight.
Affreight. A-F-R-E-I-G-H-T. Affreight.
The correct spelling is A-F-F-R-E-I-G-H-T. Okay, round 25. Decongestant. Noun, an agent that relieves an overaccumulation of blood in the blood vessels of an organ or part. A nasal decongestant constricts blood vessels and increases airflow, enabling patients with a stuffy nose to breathe more easily. Decongestant.
Decongestant. D-E-C-O-N-G-E-S-T-A-N-T. Decongestant.
Proliferate. Verb, to grow by rapid and repeated production of new parts or of buds or offspring. Blackberry vines will proliferate very quickly if they are not cut back. Proliferate.
Proliferate. P-R-O-L-I-F-F-O-R-A-T-E.
You're starting round 26, and if you get this correct, you will be the champion.
Okay.
Imperturbable. Adjective, unlikely to be disconnected, agitated, or alarmed. JC's cat was pretty imperturbable, but he still didn't like his tummy rubbed. Imperturbable.
Could you repeat the word?
Imperturbable.
Could you repeat the word again? I'm sorry.
Imperturbable.
I left off at the letter R, right?
You can start from the very beginning for now.
Okay. I M P E R imperturbable. Turbable.
School District. You are our 2019 Republican-Herald Spelling Bee champion. You will be representing the Republican-Herald and Schuylkill County in the 2019 Scripps Spelling Bee in Washington, D.C. Let's give a round of applause. I'd like to have Mia up here as well. Mia, you are second place. Mia Hubley, Mia Ward from Higgins-Hubley School District. She is our second place. That concludes the Republican-Herald. Okay. Excuse me. If I could have Madison Nickinger from Williams Valley School District. Congratulations. And I'd also like to have Evan Hernandez from Pine River Middle School. If I could get the parents to come up, take some photos. This concludes the Republican-Herald Spelling Bee. Congratulations to our champion speller and all of our school champions. On behalf of the Republican-Herald, we thank you very much for joining us.
I'll take it. Here, okay.